Hey everyone, welcome. We are getting started with our January Mornings with Mayesh show. I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes to get in, get notified, click on that link that I just sent in an email, and get some viewers. So I just wanted to say welcome. Happy New Year. And since I won't see you until after the holiday, happy Valentine's Day, guys. I wore my red shirt, my red velvet shirt just for you. And I have my little EXO behind me. Do you see? Anyhow, we'll get started in a few minutes. I just wanted to give everyone a chance to come in. My name is Yvonne Ashton. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Mayesh. I also have my very special flower friends, Dave Taggy and Shelly Anders. They work at our Phoenix and Carlsbad branches, and they're amazing, and especially because they help me out with this show because I couldn't do it without them. We also have a very special guest joining us today, Ryan O'Neill of StemCounter, and my teammate Allie, as per our usual, is in the control room. She's going to help post links and answer questions and keep us organized. So while you're coming in, please say good morning. Good morning, Summer. How are you? And I would love to know where you guys are watching from. So thank you for joining us, everyone. Keep on rolling in, say good morning. And also, before we get started, I would like to ask you to please share this on Facebook with your Facebook friends. We need help getting the word out about Mayesh Wholesale Flowers and all the yummy things that we have for you guys. And just let them know that there's a super cool live video starting. Also, if you have questions, post them in the comments below. And if we have time, we will cover them. Otherwise, we'll roll them over to next month's show, which, by the way, will be on February 20th. So be sure to join us then. So we have Lauren from Detroit. Hey, girl. We have Jennifer from Huntress Florals in San Diego. Thanks for joining us, Jennifer. Who else is here? I would love to hear from you guys. Summer is from North Carolina, Stedman, right outside of Fayetteville. Did I say that right? I'm so bad at pronouncing things, guys. You don't even know. Eliza from Houston. Good morning. Thanks, guys, for joining us. And welcome. Again, if you missed the very first couple of seconds of this video, I just wanted to wish you guys a happy new year. And also, since I won't see you until after the holiday, happy Valentine's Day. We're here to help you get ready, show you some really great product. We're going to go over our Flower 411, talk about some of our favorite products for Valentine's Day. I think Shelly even has a little show and tell to do with you guys. We have pictures to show you. We're going to be answering questions that were sent in about tinting, plagiarizing, the Pantone color of the year. I also have some marketing news to share with you guys because there's a huge change coming on Facebook. It's going to affect all of your business pages. It's super important that you know about it. And then also a fun little update on Instagram because, of course, Instagram is my favorite. And they're always adding new features, beefing up their social media platform. So it's all good stuff. And then afterwards, last but not least, we will have Ryan O'Neill. He is going to be talking about margins and markups and profitability, all those wonderful questions you guys always send in because it's so important, right? We can't do what we love as a business and not make money at it. So Ryan is here to help you with that. And then also, I think, share a little bit of news about his StemCounter software. He has some new features, which I think will be great for you guys as well. So keep on rolling in. Please share this with you. I am going to add Dave and Shelly to the broadcast. Just give them a second. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good
morning. Good.
Awesome. So we always kind of kick it off the same way, right? What's going on in the world of flowers? Always so much, but what is everyone's favorite things going on right now?
Well, we're getting ready for Valentine's Day, so we could talk about some of the really cool stuff that's available now.
Yeah.
This is actually one of my favorite times of year because we start importing some of the most beautiful flowers in the world from Japan. The Naniwa Flower Auction is located in Osaka and provides some of the most stunning varieties to the world flower market. Their sweet peas are out of this world. They're cut with super long stems that are full of blooms, amazingly fragrant, and have an extra sturdy, long base life.
Okay, give me 1 second because I have pictures that Dave brought to show you guys, and I think I can put myself in the lobby and show my screen. So that's what I did last time, right? I think. Let's try this again on live TV.
Yep.
There's one of the bicolors that we're getting in. They all have names, but we've decided we're going to keep those an industry secret within our ranks. But you can ask your sales rep, and we can get these right now for you.
So pretty.
Yeah, the peach are
That
amazing
blush.
too.
Oh, yeah, the peaches, the blushes, the dyed browns. So gorgeous.
Yeah, the dyed ones are really cool too. I didn't have any photos of those to share. Sorry, guys. All right, moving on. We're getting this amazing Glorioso lily, and they come in a bunch of different colors. The stems on these things are amazing. They're probably, I'm guessing, like 24, 36 inches tall. Hot pinks, oranges, yellows. There's a white. It's got a little bit of red in the center. This is just a photo of the orange, just the tops of them, so that you can kind of get an idea of the vibrance of the color. They're pretty amazing. Long shelf life on those too. They last in the vase a long time. All right. Ranunculus are another Japanese import that we're getting, and they have so many different varieties. I tried to minimize it down to 3 of my favorite that we've got right now in the cooler. So this one's Charlotte, the hot pink. Here's a mauve with kind of a taupey bicolor in it. So keeping on trend with the muted colors that are really popular right now. And the textures in these things are just amazing. You can see all the different petal structures that they come in. All right, another fave, Lisianthus. Eustoma is the genus of that. First one is Black Pearl. It's a nice aubergine to purple color, kind of muted and beautiful.
So pretty.
Arena Red is the next one. It's actually kind of hot pink. And Roseanne Brown, so it goes into almost that kind of chocolatey, mauve-y tone. Another muted favorite. So, anyway, there's so much more available right now that are coming out of Japan. But these are the highlights that I wanted to share with y'all. All right, we've got some rose pictures too for you guys. So this first one is Ashley. It's one of my favorite garden roses. It's a deep saturated pink color, opens to a wide aperture. It's a pom-pom shaped rose with a slightly four-quartered center. It's not fragrant, but what it lacks in the old-fashioned garden rose fragrance, it excels in an extremely long vase life of up to like 12 days. It's super long-lasting. Next one is Ballet. It's one of my favorite standard hybrid tea pinks. It's got nice scalloped petals, good long life, another good saturated pink for Valentine's Day. Moving to more hot pink tones, Cherry-O, high petal count, large head, opens very large aperture, so it really grabs your attention. I wanted to feature more garden roses this year, just to add more of a high end. So this one, Kira, is very popular in wedding work, but why not make it pop in a Valentine's Day arrangement? It's a subtle blush color. It's got a cupped rosette shape, and it has a really strong garden rose fragrance. More muted colors. This is Romantic Antique. It is reminiscent of an old-fashioned cabbage rose, kind of a dusty, pinky, peachy tone, and it complements that modern design muted color palette that everyone's doing. And last but not least, Yves Piget. This one's been around a long time. It's one of those muted colors that has the old-fashioned beauty of a peony-shaped rose. It's highly fragrant and it fades to a mauvey pink. So those are my faves.
Thanks, Dave.
Sure.
So I don't think you guys could hear me when I was talking when I was sharing my screen. I feel like I should be able to talk if it's my screen showing, right?
Right.
But that was awesome. I love garden roses. I always get some leftovers once in a while, and they lasted over a week. I was really surprised. I know a lot of the times people were concerned because the base life isn't very long and people feel like they don't get enough value for them for using an everyday design, but they literally and they were beautiful. I just they're so gorgeous. I love garden roses. Those are my favorite.
The rule of thumb with those is usually the more fragrant a flower, the shorter its base life, and that's just because it produces the esters that actually kill itself by having such a beautiful fragrance. So they are hybridizing the fragrance out of some of these roses so they can have a longer base life. Yeah. Just a little technical information. Yeah,
which is sad but good. I love the way they smell when they smell beautiful. It's like one of the ones, but I'm allergic to a lot of different flower smells, and so it's like one of the ones that doesn't make my lymph nodes blow up. Shelly, I think you brought some things to show and tell with as well, right?
I did. Yeah. Speaking of sweet peas in that Pantone color of the year, ultraviolet.
Ooh, look at that color.
So these are the Japanese sweet peas Dave was referring to. They have a super long stems. Let me get that plastic off there. Super long stems and gorgeous color, lots of blooms. That's the really beautiful purple. They come in all different colors. That's the sweet peas. I'll go quickly through. I have a few things to show you. This is one of the very cool Japanese ranunculus varieties in a almost sort of bicolor salmon and blush and a little peachy tone there. That's a gorgeous one. These guys are amazing and they open up huge. They rival garden roses and peonies in my opinion.
Wow.
Can you see that one? I'm getting it close to the camera there so you guys can see the detail.
It just focused in on it, yeah.
That's beauty. I have also everyone's favorite. These guys are the butterfly style ranunculus. They're gorgeous. And you see those a lot in our product brochures and literatures. A lot of our design star used those. Christy used those a lot last year. And they're fantastic. And you have to sell a kidney in order to afford one of those.
I know, but can you talk about, you do have to sell a kidney, right? Our Japanese product is expensive. We're not going to lie about that. But can you guys talk about the value? You pay for what you get for with this, in this case, I believe.
I agree. I will tell you, they are expensive, but they are stunning and they last forever. I will testify to that. Last year I always make a counter display arrangement here with showcase our product. This is Charlotte ranunculus, by the way. And I called them the zombie flowers. They lasted I had one arrangement. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. It literally lasted 6 weeks. Yeah. Those ranunculus in my arrangement in this warehouse lasted 6 weeks. I'm not exaggerating.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I just kept changing the water, recutting, refreshing in that base. But I think you could probably get easily 3 weeks out of those in a normal shop environment. They're an amazing product. The Japanese know what they're doing. They're so meticulous in how they craft their flowers. I think it's pure science for them. Yeah. Here's some amazing varieties of. This is Tiger, the Mistral. Which one here? This one. Anemone. Beautiful. Isn't that pretty? I'm sorry, it's a little cold in here, so they're not quite open yet, but you can see them bicolor tones. And then these were from our Mayesh Miami Lux Blooms box lots this week. These are from our local grower, and they're called Rarity. And I'm sorry that they're not open, but they're beautiful, kind of lavender, but more on the heather side, plummy tone, purpley tone. They're not as cool tone lavender. They're a warmer pinky tone. And they're in the bunch. There's about 4 different shades going on. That's one bunch's color. I posted these on our Mayesh Carlsbad Instagram if you guys want to check out that guy.
Beautiful. I'll reshare too on our page.
Oh, and Kaylee, my sweet Kaylee, she just brought me another bunch of some Japanese sweet peas that were a bicolor, so you guys can see those up close too.
I love those. I love the sweet peas, and those smell really good too. Speaking of yummy smells.
Yeah, and guys, they're breathtaking. I mean, the flowers that we get, this generation of flowers is just incomparable to, I think, anything we used to work with. So
yeah,
you guys are so lucky.
Right.
We are lucky.
That's all I had to show you right now.
You were talking about price points on these things being high, but when you consider that the head size of some of those Japanese ranunculus open up to the size of maybe 3 blooms of what we get locally, you're getting your money's worth out just by the size that they cover. You know, some of them are as big as garden roses when they open up. So
it's true.
You know,
It's
you
true.
look at the sticker on it and you kind of get a little bit of sticker shock, but then once they're open, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Plus the visual value you get and the arrangement and the effect. I mean, it's like nothing else. It's just the caviar of flowers, you know. If you want to try to set yourself apart as a designer and showcasing something really fabulous, that's the way to go. They're just stunning. And you only need 1 or 2. You don't have to fill your design with them. They're just a showcase flower.
Yeah, I was going to say that, you know, if you're looking for a way to kind of set your brand apart from your competition, then using Mayesh Lux Bloom's Japanese flowers would be the perfect way to do that. So awesome. Thank you.
And we'll have more of those on display tomorrow at our open house. All of our locations are having our open house. So you guys can see those. Yeah.
I know. So we have our open house tomorrow, guys. Make sure you check it out. It's at all of our locations during business hours. We have a cool little giveaway that we sent out to all of our branches, which I'm excited about. It was Allie's idea, so I hope that you guys enjoy it. I'm not going to say what it is yet. It's a surprise, so go check it out. There's product specials. We're celebrating our 40th birthday as well, so that's exciting. So come and join the fun at our national open house tomorrow. The other things I didn't bring up at the beginning, because somehow I skipped all of that, is our Mayesh Design Star Flower Workshop. We have our first one. Can you believe it? Next week. It's just crazy. In Miami, the weather has been beautiful. Like if you're in the cold, everywhere I feel like is under ice and snow and crazy conditions. I just saw like some meme yesterday saying Texas is completely just closed down. They're taking a school day, the whole entire state. So come to Florida and join us. I still have some seats available, and it's going to be an amazing experience. So I'm super excited about that. But we have 3 other dates. So check out our website about our new Mayesh Design Star Flower Workshop tour. And then also, if you haven't watched Kaylee's new video and you need some cool laid-back flower vibes, and you want to learn more about compost and pin frogs, then this is your video. I love it. The first one turned out amazing. So I want you guys to watch that and let me know what you think. I think that's it right now, right? Good. So we're going to move on to our next topic, guys. Let me know if you have any flower care questions while we're at it. This is what we're going to be talking about now. I don't know if this technically is flower care or flower design. I wasn't sure where to put it, but I put it under flower care. So Rachel wants to know, what is the most effective way to tint a flower that has petals that spread and overlap, like a Gerber daisy, so there are no white spots after tinting with Design Master? And I'll let you guys take it away.
Yeah, that's a hard one because daisies, that's the problem. You when you go a first spray over, it hits that, the top layer, and then if you try to move the petals, you've got little white spots. That's what she's talking about.
Yeah.
So you just have to gently, with your fingers, or you can use a chenille stem if you prefer, you just have to sort of ruffle and then do another light coat. That's really the easiest way to do it. There's not really any other way to do it. You can't dip them. It'll saturate too much. You can take, this is a trick I've always used, is you can take your Design Master paint and spray it into a lid or a little tray and take a chenille stem or an actual paintbrush and literally paint the flowers. You just let the alcohol kind of dissipate a little bit, lightly paint, and it works great. This is a great way to paint leaves or anything, and that's a really easy tip to paint flowers. But roses are the same problem. People try to spray paint tight roses. You really have to let them open up, get your bloom open as much as possible, and you still kind of have to ruffle it a little bit. And once you do that, if you just tint it, it'll, again, you just have to make sure you do always when you're using Design Master and spraying flowers, light layers and let them dry in between. Don't heavily saturate your stems. So just like you would be painting anything with spray paint, a one light layer, let it dry, manipulate a little bit, and then spray again. And that'll give you a more natural look.
Great. Good advice. Dave, did you have something to add?
Yeah, we've experimented a little with the stem absorption dyes here in Phoenix, and they're extremely messy, and they seem to work best on flowers that are dry packed straight out of the box that haven't been hydrated yet. The timing on it's kind of tricky. We follow the instructions on the manufacturer, and some of them actually needed to stay in the dye a little bit longer. Best advice for this kind of stuff is do it outside. It is really messy. It's a powder you put in liquid, and then you cut the flower and let it drink the color liquid up. And some flowers do better than others. Carnations, okay. Roses, eh. So
Yeah.
play around with that one.
I love the face that you made while you were talking about that, though. You could tell that you did not enjoy the experience. I love it.
Yeah, it's a mess.
That's great. I actually have a question from Summer. She says, can you talk about the best greens to use for garlands, table runners, and how to create and care for them? I know you guys sell them, but would like to know how to assemble them myself as well. Is that something you guys can talk about off the top of your head?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. You can pretty much make a garland out of any greenery. The most popular go-to, especially at our, in our SoCal locations, are eucalyptus, seeded, silver dollar, willow. All those combined are popular. People make them out of plumosas, ruscus, Italian ruscus is popular. Anything that that'll hold up out of water, lemon leaf, almost any greenery can be made. I can't think of really any greenery. Ferns are delicate sometimes. You can add those in at the event, but I think eucalyptus is the most popular for us here.
I just want to add to that from my own experience in floral design school back in the 90s. We
Good times.
We had old wood tables, so we would nail a nail in there and we'd tie a piece of twine to it, and then we'd get out the paddle wire. And I remember we were doing this enormous wedding that had Springer Eye, Plumosa, all the thorny greens. And we were hand wiring these garlands, and none of the girls wanted to do it. So who do you think did? I took one for the team. Anyway, you want to be really careful about stuff like that because those little thorns fester in your hands for a long time. So I just wanted to add that when you're hand wiring stuff, those little thorns are evil. Anyway, any greens will work though.
That's great.
You want. So.
Gay says we use Smilax in the South, which I see a lot of Smilax things too, which is good stuff. Okay, we are going to move on to flower design. So I had one question last time about designing with the Pantone color of the year. And since I'm talking, I'm going to get rid of you, Dave, real quick, and then I'll bring you back so I can share my screen real quick. Cool? Okay, see you in a second. All right, so let me just bring that up. Can you see that? Is it too small?
Oh, no, it's up.
It's up? Okay, so let me go back to it. So I put together, so in case you guys really wanted to check it out, and I can find the link in a little bit, I don't know if you guys will actually be able to read it. I'll have to post it on our blog. So I created a blog post about ultraviolet for WUSFA. I'm the chair for the marketing committee there. So I help with the content creation. And I wanted to show examples of all the different color combinations. So one of my favorite ones is this great graphic right here. Just showing, it's by Erica Firm, and just showing how ultraviolet can be transformed by adding all different shades. So I think that's really cool. I like all her little names too that she has on there. And then we'll post the link for the Pinterest board, but you can see just different things that are already out there with the flowers and cakes and color palettes. This one right here is kind of one of my favorites with the ultraviolet. I like the tablecloth and then kind of the lighter muted tones mixed in there with gold. If anyone knows me, everyone knows I'm a huge fan of gold, and I think obviously that works really, really well with ultraviolet. All the hot pink tones. Also, so some of these pictures too are from Chris Kratz's presentation that she did at WSFA for wholesale florists and floral suppliers, just talking about all the different her color predictions. And so a few of them had a purple tone in them, so that was interesting to see. And so that's where some of these pictures came from. And then, of course, I have actual flowers. I have a lot of the Vandas and things like that. So just check it out. It's pretty fun and cool. And if you're just wonder, lighting too. I love kind of that purpley colored lighting at events when everything else is white. I think that looks really cool. So yeah, check it out. Fun stuff there. And I just wanted to just let you know that I did a little bit of research on it. And I, again, will try and post that to our blog so that way you guys can see all of that. And we'll share the link. So I just wanted to say hello to everyone that's joined us too right now while I'm bringing Dave back on. Welcome to our show, guys. And if you just join us, please share this with your flower friends and all of your favorite flower groups. All of our great things that we're talking about. And we're going to move on. Let me just bring up my notes because I'm totally don't know what I'm supposed to say next. All right. So next topic, guys, is around flower business. And we have a question from Trisha. She wants to know, what is the average margin for wedding florals? I found myself pricing based on competitors' pricing because that's what I actually purchase. Hasn't worked out well. And I imagine not. So I know Shelly has some things to say. And then Trisha, I hope that you're listening right now, because if you stay on later, Ryan will be talking about this type of thing as well. So Shelly, what say you?
Yeah, exactly. Ryan has wonderful advice for this, and if you guys don't know about StemCounter, you should really stay tuned for that, because he has it broken down really well, actually. But first of all, as a florist, you have to really, good job. You have to know your own self and what you need to do to make a profit for yourself, and you can't compare yourself to your neighbors and your competitors and your peers. You have to figure out for yourself what you need to do to make a living. And that your market may be different from your neighbors. You may work in a studio, they may have a brick and mortar shop. Mm-hmm. Everybody's market is different. It depends on where you live in this world. Everybody has a different formula. There's no, believe it or not, set industry standard. There is a general set industry standard. Back in the day, when we were younger floral designers, Dave and I probably had a markup that every shop adhered to. It was 3 or 4 time markup plus labor plus set delivery fees plus. But everybody today has a different set of criteria they have to work with. So you have to figure out what do I need to make? And most people make the mistake of not charging enough because they're trying to compete with everybody else. And I see this here all the time. I try to really educate my girls here and guys to make sure that they're charging appropriately. So at least make sure you're doing the correct markup, which is always 3 to 4 times on standard cut flower arrangements. Sorry for the background noise, guys. Yeah. 3 to 4 times for cut flower arrangements, 2 times on hard goods. If you're doing handwork or wire work or anything labor intensive, it's at least 5 time markup. That's like your bridal bouquets, corsages, boutonnieres. We've covered all this kind of stuff before. Right. And then, then decide, what do I need to charge for my delivery and setup? And what is my time worth? What is my brand worth? These days, it is not so much about product you're selling. It's about who are you selling? You're selling you now. So anybody now can go to any of you all, and you all are almost all doing now very similar looks. So it's really you they want now, and your good quality work that you're doing and your beautiful florals, but they want you. So you are branding yourself. So don't underestimate yourself and what you should charge for what you are doing. So take a good look at the big picture, and don't end up working for $10 an hour at the end of the day.
Right.
So,
yeah, we definitely want to help you be successful. And just so you guys know, we always post our replays on our blog, and I'll include the show notes so that way. I know we went over all of that really quickly, but we have a lot more questions to get to. But you'll have that information from Shelly for future reference.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so last Mornings with Mayesh, and we didn't have time to talk about this, but someone had posted asking how to handle plagiarizing florists. Another local florist is using other designers' work to fill their Knot.com portfolio. In their storefront advertising, the Knot is slowly acting after I contacted some of the original designers, but they aren't doing much. Before you answer, Shelly, I just want to say, for those of you guys that are doing this, you really need to you can buy stock photography if you really need work pictures and you don't have that yet to get started. I understand that happens, and there's a little bit of a lag sometimes between launching a business and actually having really great pictures of your work. But we all got to stop stealing, right? That's totally not cool. And there's other avenues to do it legally. And so I would advise not to do that. That's just such a big no-no. And it's, people get really upset about that. And I don't think you want to have that happen to you. So yeah, check out photography sites, iStock Photo, things like that. And then build up your portfolio, work with your photographers, and get that done. And if you can't afford a photographer, you don't have events, do some mock things at home and find a white wall or a clean background and good lighting, and get your iPhone out, or, I'm an Android user, get that out and take some good pictures. And I think we might have done a blog post about taking pictures too. So if you need help with that, let me know. We definitely can help. But Shelly, what did you want to add about that? Or if you had any thoughts too?
I agreed totally, Yvonne. It's for me, I think that you want to protect your work. It's impossible now with Instagram, especially I think all florists put their work out on Instagram. Instagram will protect you only on Instagram, but once it leaves Instagram, it's up for grabs. You can copyright your pictures. There's a process to do that. But really, the thing is, it's going to happen, and there's nothing you can really do about it when it happens except do what you did. Contact the offending florist, contact the site that's posting it, do everything you can in your power. I know some florists that this has happened to here. They've kind of shamed the florist that it happened to. Be very careful about doing that kind of thing. It can make you look not great in the public's eyes.
Definitely don't want to get into a social media battle, because that doesn't do anyone any good. Just FYI. You got to stay positive in the public realm.
You know what? And people know when people, your followers that know you and love your style already know your work, and they can spot that a mile away. And really, at the end of the day, who even cares? Who's even looking at their stuff? Honestly, you're on that particular website, that person may have stolen some images, but they've got to produce, right? They're going to have to come up with the quality work at the end. So you do what you can on your end, and that's it. Karma will get that person in the end. That is no bueno. That's not a good thing to do. We're saying it to you all now. You're listening. Don't do it. It's not good, and it will come to bite you in the hiney in the end. Believe me. And your peers. This is a very small community, people. Everyone knows everyone, and eventually that gets back around. And if you want to work with these other wonderful florists, especially the younger florists, really are collaborative. If you want to work with these people later and they find out you did something like that, you are not going to be invited to anything. So just remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my
Good
2
advice. Thanks, Kelly. Dave, did you have anything that you wanted to add? Are you good?
Oh, I think Shelley covered it really well. But one simple thing you can do with your photography is put a watermark somewhere on it that's unique to your business. And, that's a simple solution. If you put that on all your photos, and you can quickly identify when they are being misused by others. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good advice. If you're someone like me, though, I'm like a little bit of a purist. I'm kind of an anti-watermark. And I know a lot of photographers have this happen to them constantly. I think even worse than floral designers. They have people stealing their work all the time. But I think you got to make a decision. Do you want a watermark? Do you not? If you do watermark, also know that if they have a friend that's really good at Photoshop, that doesn't really do a whole lot. If they know a Jen McJunkins, like I have on my team, or an Allie Dawson, they can easily take those watermarks off. They don't want to. They're not going to spend the time, but if someone's desperate enough and they're going to steal stuff, they might do something like that too. But just to be aware. But I like everything clean, and so it's
watermarks were the big thing back when we were florists. That what you had to buy photographs from a real photographer, not a real photographer, but a photographer, to get even a portfolio, and everything was watermarked. That sort of was the way that a photographer protected their work. But now it's become sort of almost passé to have a watermark on your stuff. And even though it protects it sort of protects it, but it ultimately still doesn't, because it's just what you said. People can Photoshop or crop it, or
right.
So it's the behavior, integrity. People have some integrity. Let's nip it in the bud right there.
Exactly. Good stuff. So next I have, just so you know, I see Lauren's question. I think I'm going to bring that up to Ryan in a little bit in the show. I just wanted to let you know I see your question. I'm not forgetting about it. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and post them in the comments. Give us a thumbs up or love us. I love, right, guys? We love, especially in February. That's coming up way too fast. I know, Valentine's. XOXO. Okay, so I have some marketing news. Guys, do you want to stay on with me, or are you good to go? You guys are, I know, are busy getting ready for tomorrow.
We're actually setting up for our open house tomorrow.
Yes.
So
yeah, exactly. Yes. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Everyone say goodbye to Shelly and Dave. Bye.
Bye, guys.
I will see you next month. Bye.
Thanks,
See ya.
All
right, guys. I know everyone's crazy busy this time of month. I know you guys are usually like floral designers are chill, but for like my team, it's crazy because it's new year and we have so many things going on. And then we're always busy because we always do our national open house in January. So super excited. Check that out. Oh, you know what else I wanted to bring up? Is anyone going to a special event? Can you like raise your hand or say I am in the comments or something? If you are going to a special event, make sure you look for Beth O'Reilly's. She's doing a program there. And I don't have the link with me, but I will share that in my show notes. So go check it out. So we're going to be there doing a program. We don't have a booth this time, but we will still be there, and very excited sharing about flowers and process and all of that. So check that out if you're going to a special event this month. Okay, marketing news, guys. Okay, Facebook, this is kind of a really big deal, and I wanted to spend a couple minutes talking about it before I bring on Ryan. So Facebook is going to be updating its news feed algorithm again, and it will affect your business page. I feel like it's getting tougher and tougher for us to get organic reach, right? And that stinks. So real quick, and we'll post, there's a link. Facebook sent out a news feed item about the news feed. So in their article that they posted, they said, and I'm quoting here, what does this mean for the pages and the public content, their change that they're talking about? And the answer is because space in newsfeed is limited, showing more posts from friends and family and updates that spark conversation, and make sure you're paying attention, spark conversation, means we'll show less public content, meaning our things, including videos and other posts from publishers or businesses. Big deal, guys. As we make these updates, pages may see their reach, watch time, and referral traffic decrease. It will decrease. The impact will vary from page to page, driven by factors including the type of content they produce and how people interact with it. Okay, so what does that mean for you guys? Again, I'm going to repeat. This means we are going to see a decline in reach, video watch time, referral traffic, etc. If you're creating posts that no one reacts to, or you're posting too much every day, you're going to be affected big time by this change. Facebook is just going to keep on pushing you down, 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 and no one's going to see your things. One of the social media gurus that I keep up with is going to be recommending to his team to completely stop posting links to their blog and focus on entertaining and engaging content. So he just launched a video show. It's a weekly show, and so they're going to be focusing on that. So I'm doing a monthly show now. Now in my head, I'm like, do we need to do a weekly show so that way our things show up on Facebook and that way you guys can see it? You might be asking, why is this happening? And this is because Facebook is running out of room on its news feed. There is just not enough room for all of your friends and family things, plus all of the business pages that you follow. And for me, I don't know about you guys, but I only follow business pages that I really want to see the content. So I don't like this change as a consumer. I want to see new products. I want to see what's going on with my favorite brands. And so this kind of makes me sad. But there is a way around it. So let me share my screen again with you guys. Okay, you can see my show notes, right? All right, so if you are on Facebook right now, look, this is weird because you can see me while I'm talking and then me. Okay, so on your newsfeed, if you guys want to see Mayesh things or from your favorite brands, make sure you go to Facebook and on the feed, your news feed, see news feed and then the ... Okay, so you're going to click that and you can edit your preferences. Okay, so edit preferences. And then you guys see there's prioritize who to see first and then some other things, right? So I want you to click on prioritize who to see first. Very easy. And then look, I have Mayesh Wholesale Florist. I want to see them first. Gary Vaynerchuk, do you guys know who he is? He's, if you don't mind swearing, because he swears a lot, he is just he has tons of great advice. And so he's definitely someone that I want to make sure that I see in my news feed. And, you can see, I feel like you're seeing a lot about me right now, right? So I'm just going to select those two things right now. You hit done, and then there's a little check mark here, and then that's it. So super easy update for you guys to do to make sure that you are seeing Mayesh and other brand pages that you guys want to see in your newsfeed. I hope that you want to see our content. We work really hard on creating blog posts and things like that for you, videos and all of that we're uploading. So keep us in your feed. And I recommend you guys sharing this information with your community as well. So that way they are seeing your things. Okay, so I'm going to unshare my screen again. And I don't know if Ellie already posted the link, but we're going to post a link for the article so that way you can read the whole thing about the newsfeed update that Facebook will be rolling out. This isn't happening right this second, but it will be rolled out and then over the next couple of weeks. So you have a little bit of time to re-strategize on how to make Facebook work for your business. If you guys want to talk more about that, I would love to. Let me know, hit me up, and maybe we can do a separate little mini show about Facebook newsfeed update. Post that in the comments, guys. All right, so the next item up for discussion, and this one is a super quick one, is Instagram. So Instagram has been working on pumping up their messaging, and now you can send live videos in Instagram direct messages. That's pretty cool. So one of the ways that you can use this, and I actually did a live broadcast today and totally forgot to do this, so I'm kicking myself right now as I'm reading this, but if you're doing a live broadcast on Instagram, you can go ahead and ask your viewers to invite their friends to watch with them. So, because this is more about that, like your viewers using it to help promote you. There isn't like a good way for you to do it while you're doing live. So you need to ask your tribe to help you out and spread your message, just like I do during the show. So definitely check that out. I think this is being tested. I don't know if this is totally rolled out. And but if you have it, I'd love to know. And if you guys use that, do you guys use direct messaging? I actually just used it for workshop stuff yesterday. It was really cool. So just check it out and let me know. All right, so it is time for Ryan, and add him to the broadcast. We went over the time. My apologies, Ryan. I'm so sorry it took me a little bit longer to get you up live, but welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. Excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so let me just get me back and organized. So Ryan is one of my favorite people just because he's kind of on the same crusade as we are. He has a brand that obviously he wants you guys to love and support, but he definitely believes in educating the community and does so freely. And I love people like that. I love companies like that. We align ourselves with people like that. And StemCounter .com. If you guys haven't checked out his software, make sure you do so because it's a really great tool to keep you organized for your events and all of that jazz. And I know you have some new things going on. There might be new stuff also before this latest update. So maybe share a little bit about what's been going on with StemCounter before we get into our meat of the conversation.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let me start that off just by thank you for letting us get off on here. And just tagging on to what you just said, obviously with the Facebook changes and stuff like that, I'd recommend everyone subscribe to the Mayesh blog as well with your actual email address, because that will go directly to your inbox and you can make sure that you aren't missing something as well. They always put great, I'm on their newsletter list and they have great stuff that they put out on that. But yeah. So we've had a lot of fun stuff with StemCounter over the last little bit, and I'm just trying to think of which features we build very, very quickly. We've got an incredible development team, so we've got a few really cool new features. I'll save the most exciting one for last, but we've got multiple users now, so you can have multiple team members who are logging into the software. We've got inventory alerts, and this is one that a lot of people really nerded out over. So like for us, just as an example, our shop on December the 4th, we had 2 events, and we have these dinky white pillars. I say dinky, they're nice, attractive white pillars, but they're just like these 2 white pillars that we rent out all the time. And so my wife had 2 weddings. I mean, we do for our shop probably about 35 to 45 events a year in terms of where we're at in the pure number of events. And so you never have 2 events on us the same Saturday in December, but we did. And we accidentally rented out those same 2 pillars for both events. And so it was just a huge, huge headache because obviously, if you're meeting with one client in January and the next in June, you're booking for the same date, it just gets really convoluted in there. So this tool actually looks at how many that you have in your inventory, and it sends you an alert saying, hey, you sure you want to do that? You totally can. But you're going to be overbooking that item. So a lot of our florists are really nerding out about that feature. We introduced sections as well, so you can be able to put sections of your ceremony flowers or reception flowers or anything like that. And the one that most people are completely nerding out about, if you ever do multiple events on a weekend, and let's say you use Mayesh LAX and Mayesh Miami and your local Mayesh, and you've got different flowers coming from different places, we just introduced what's called the game plan feature, and we're super excited because it's going to expand a lot beyond this initial version. But the initial way that we're doing it is you're able to generate and combine all of your different orders into one single place. So if you've got 2 events, or if you've got 17 events, or even if you've got 1 event, like we have 1 event, a pretty large event coming up at the end of January. My wife is like 8 months pregnant, and she says, I'm going to be sitting down and making the bridal bouquet, and everybody else is doing everything else, but that's all that I'm doing. But we've got a huge event coming up at the end of January. And so even for that, we're trying to separate and make sure that we're keeping all the different pieces and where different pieces are coming from. And so the game plan feature allows you to have every single stinking thing that you touch. So like some people, they even like go down in their recipes down to the pearl pin. And we don't do that, but some people are like, they are that specific about what's going into this bouquet.
Yeah.
And so you can have a list of all of those things, and it basically keeps up with where you're getting bids from. So we have a bids tool as well, and so it's able to separate it out and say, hey, I've got this stuff is coming from Mayesh Miami, this stuff is coming from Mayesh LAX. And so when everything's coming in, thank you very much for the congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, we're excited about it. Another little boy, February 18th is the due date.
Maybe it'll come on Valentine's Day.
There's a chance of that. There's a chance of that.
Valentine's Day, baby. That'd be amazing.
But from our understanding, he's looking to come a little bit earlier than either one. So maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's super exciting because traditionally people have had to do like multiple different sheets and try to keep up with what's coming from where, and did we order anything, and did we forget the pink peonies, and all these different pieces that just get lost. And so that's the cool part, where you're able to literally pull every single piece in there and be able to keep up with that. So that's been a fun, exciting thing. And we have another announcement that I can't tell you guys yet. I'm sorry. But it's literally the biggest announcement we've ever had in the history of the company. And so it's probably in the next month. Just keep an eye out about it. Watch our Instagram page. And we're super excited about it. We still got to get a lot of the pieces in order to be able to make it happen. And so it literally is probably one of the most pivotal, outside of the moment when my wife said, there's got to be a better way than this Excel sheet. It's probably one of the most pivotal moments outside of that moment of the company. So we're super excited about it. So just keep an eye out for it.
You just have a lot going on. That's amazing and super exciting. So check it out, guys. We're going to post a link to StemCounter too, so you guys can mosey on over there after this show. All right, so let's get moving on some questions. So do you want to talk a little bit how you would determine if rentals are profitable, Ryan?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. So we've been getting this a lot, and we've been doing a lot of legwork and talking to a lot of florists and saying, how do you handle this? And we've got a few different ways that florists and even rental companies that use our software have talked to us about how they do it. And it's kind of unique because with florals, it's a pretty even thing. It's a consumable. It's something you're going to buy the flower and it's going to be gone after that event. So it's not something where you got to keep track of that item. So with the flower, hey, I bought this rose for $1. I sold the rose for $3.50, which means I made $2.50, and then I can take out whatever my taxes. And so it's a pretty simple, cut and dry way with roses, because you have a very defined time. But we found it's a little bit more complex when you're trying to find out, are we actually being profitable on these rentals? And so we've chatted with a lot of florists, and there's a few different ways that florists do this. Our friends over at Sweet Root Village, if you don't follow them on Instagram, you need to. They're Rachel and Lauren and their team are just an incredible team, and they put a lot of fun stuff. I will give you a warning. They're very, very good at Instagram, and their story is always at the front. I mean, they have so many stories every single day. So if you want to be up to date about how they work, they definitely help you out with that. But I was talking to Lauren, and she said, well, the way we do it is we actually expense that total expense of that item up front. And so we say, if we're going to find out if we're profitable on an event and we bought some new hurricane vases, we actually expense all of that out on the very first, and we take that from the profit of that event. If it costs more than what we sold it for, then obviously we're going to lose a little bit on that event comparatively, and we're just going to hope to make it up over time. And so that's the way that they view it. The way that we've traditionally done it, we just had an internal rule where my wife she looks at the event coming up and she just says, okay, so I really want this vase. I'm sure none of y'all have ever had that feeling. Literally, it's not going to be at your wedding, but you want it just as much as that bride wants that vase.
I bet. Especially after going to Atlanta, right? Everyone's in Atlanta right now.
Right. So she's like, man, I really want this vase. It's going to look so cool. And obviously that's the hardest part about what we do. And especially people who love design, it's like you sometimes you're almost willing to take a loss over something because you really want to use it. And so, but we just have a general rule that says, can we use this a second time? And if we can use this a second time, great, let's use it a second time, and we're willing to buy it. But if it's something that we don't have a pretty close to a guarantee that we're going to be able to rent that out again. We just don't rent it out, which, and I say a second time, typically our second time covers that initial cost and starts bringing us into profit. And so that's typically our rules. How much can we rent this for? How much out? And the way that a lot of larger rental companies work on this actually is they treat their rentals as a completely separate item. So when they have their list of rentals, they almost treat it as a completely separate item. They rent it out. Anything that they make is profit within that event, but they really just look at this as a year-long situation. Hey, how much do we rent this particular item out for the year? And they almost just create a separation there between the event profitability. They just assume, hey, we're profitable. This isn't an expense in our event. But then they take a hard look at that throughout the year and say, how much did we use this item? And so they keep track of those things. And so those are 3 different ways that I've typically seen florists when you're really, really tempted to be able to buy, that vase, or to be able to buy that lantern, or the centerpiece option, or the huge, what are they called? You're going to have to help me on this, Yvonne. The moonbeam, or the circle.
The circle. I don't know what they're called. I just know we call them the big giant
circle.
Like the 7-foot hoop.
Yes. So when you're trying to determine, can I do this or not? Hopefully that's going to help you all find out whether that new rental item you're going to add is going to be profitable.
That's good stuff. I love it. All right. Next question. So, how do you respond to customers when they ask for a discount? I bet that happens a lot, right? Because everyone thinks everything is negotiable.
And I'm sure no one ever uses Pinterest either. So,
right.
Yes, they do. So here's my biggest thing on that. There are different people that have different feelings on this. I'll hit the top 3, but really quick. But my biggest point is don't free will. Never get into the event and just be like, okay, well, I'm just going to figure it out here, because you always end up losing. Mm-hmm. Hands down, every time we've done that, we always end up losing when we don't have an answer, when we lack an answer. So for us, that's just a general rule. If we go into the meeting and we don't have something in our mind, it doesn't matter if it's bartering, it doesn't matter if it's discounts, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter even if you lose the event. Okay, because if they're already asking you about a discount or bartering or something, there's one of 2 choices. Number 1, they are really interested in using you, or number 2, they're going to compare you against other people. So either of those are going to be working in your favor. So if they're comparing against other people, then they're not your client anyway. So that sort of gives you but if they are interested in you and they are like, okay, I'm making a buying decision now, then that's a good point. So 3 ways people handle this. First, some people just never discount. They always add value. They say, oh, okay, well, we, instead of giving a discount, we'll throw in this additional XYZ if you book with us. And a lot of times they put a time limit on that too. And again, have this decided beforehand, but they'll say, if you book within 24 hours, go home, talk to the family, talk to the fiance. If you love it, you want to do it, we'll throw in this additional, bouquet, or this additional, flower girl crown, anything like that. Number 2, the second way I hear a lot of people handle that situation is they offer upgrades on their rentals, things that aren't going to cost them money. It's not money coming out of your pocket, and that's an important thing. If you're going to offer incentives to people, make sure it's not money coming out of your pocket. Make sure it's something that's a smart incentive to be able to get people to book. And so that's a big thing too when it comes to that. So value add in place of discount. Yeah, very great, Robin. Value add in place of discount, hands down. Figure out a way to, it's a much better way to say it than what I was saying, but it's so much better to be able to do that than to be able to just cut your legs out from underneath you. And then the other big thing too is obviously, going into the event, knowing what you're willing to do, making sure that you're not cutting your legs out from underneath you, and offering the time frame is the other big thing. A lot of proposal softwares, whatever you use, I know StemCounter has it, you have like an expiration date on it. So it's like, hey, yeah, I can offer this, but I'm going to put an expiration date on this proposal. So you need to make sure that you're booking with me, or else all these prices are going to go out the door. And so those are a few big things that we typically look at. Just make sure, the biggest thing is just make sure that you don't get in the meeting and you're trying to decide on the spot how to be able to handle it. And I'll say this ending, because we have some people who do this. I had someone the other day, we were talking about StemCounter. If anyone ever does a demo with us, we always give them a discount for jumping onto the software at the end of the demo. So again, we incentivize that, and I'm giving all of you away are at my secret. So if you aren't a user now, I'm about to give you away what we're gonna try in our company on you is we always say we always say, hey, yeah, if you'd book with us at the end of the demo, we're going to give you, half off your first month or something like that. And we had someone a while back that said, can you give us half off the 3 months? Well, again, we have a rule. We don't just free will and like, oh, well, yeah, let's go ahead and do it because we really want your business. Instead, what we did was I made it sound like we're responding in a positive way to the request. And I said, well, that's a great question. Totally understand. They said, well, we're going out of booking season, or when we're going out of wedding season, even though they're going into booking season, which is the heaviest time you need StemCounter in January.
Right.
So I said, great question. And I said, well, here's the options we have. You can use the half off discount. You can be able to buy our annual package, which saves you several months if that's the big thing. And then I just gave them 3 options of something that we were already comfortable with. And they chose one of those options in the first place. So I didn't do anything different than I would have done anyways. I just was very kind to them, wasn't rude to the fact that they were asking something literally in 3 years no one has ever asked me for. It's easy to get offended because people do things outside of your business practice. You just have to remember that people are from different cultures. And so that's a big thing for us is just being able to figure out how do we optimize that and just still being kind and responding. So I hope that sort of encompassed that.
No, I think that's great. And then I just wanted to hop back to the inventory thing real quick because I spy Brandon. He's watching. He's one of my friends from Cleveland. He has an amazing design shop there, Urban Orchid. And he was saying, do you have a recommended inventory software that helps keep track of rentals? And I think you added that, right? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. It just kind of depends on what you mean by keep track of. I find that I hear that question every week, several times a week from people looking for it. It just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for like the barcode thing, I literally have talked to a rental company the other day, largest company in St. Louis, 90,000 square feet of rental space, and they said, no, we don't mess with barcodes. We don't got time for that. And I'm like, of all people, you would have had that. I mean, they have a system called Flex. That's a pretty powerful system. We do have that in StemCounter. We do have basic. If the question that you're asking is how do we make sure we aren't double booking, things like that, we do have that built into the software where you're able to add your inventory amount.
Right.
And I think in March of this year, we have planned some really, really cool updates to that inventory side of our software as well. But in terms of just being able to manage it and keep up with it and be able to print out a strike list and print a pack list, all that, a lot of our florists are literally use StemCounter alone for tracking all of their rentals, all their florals, all those different pieces. But there definitely are some great tools out there. It just kind of depends on what level you need. And the other step that I would encourage on that is just make sure that it is what you need. And this is not to anyone in particular. This is just something I see, and not just something you want. Because I see a lot of people that go and spend a whole bunch of extra money for something that they really want, but it's not implemented into their business practices. And so
Right.
Maybe that would work. Maybe the barcoding would work. But it just surprised me when I was at the wedding show 2 weeks ago and I was talking to that person. They said, no, we don't got time to be able to deal with barcodes. And I was like, oh, wow, if you don't. So maybe it does work. But that's a good point that I've seen.
Right. No, that's great. So you have a bunch of questions that we haven't answered. Maybe we can add your answer to our blog when I do my show notes. That would be super. And I have one question I promised that we would get to, and then I got to go because I have a meeting like right now.
Cool.
Okay. So this is from Lauren. She says, any advice on for florists just starting out with a home business? How would you suggest showcasing skills best? Does Mayesh sell flowers by the stem at any location? So let me do the easy one first. Flowers typically aren't sold by the stem except for like hydrangea. I'm trying to think of anything else that might be by the stem, but most things are sold in bunches and you just have to learn what that bunch count is. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 10, sometimes if it's roses, it's 25, carnations 25, garden roses are totally different than roses. So just totally go to your local Mayesh, or if you're a shipping customer, you can always message me separately. I can hook you up with someone. And they're just going to help you go through that process and give you the information that you need to make those decisions. And then showcasing skills best. We can both, I think, take this one, but I feel like showcasing skills is just a little bit what we talked about when we were talking about the plagiarizing thing, doing some work, even if you don't have jobs, doing mock-ups, things like that, a styled shoot, just getting really great photographs of your work done, and then sharing those, making sure you have an amazing website, making sure you are on social media where you think your customers are going to be, and that's how you get showcased and people find you. Did you want to add anything to that? And then any advice about starting out?
All those are tremendous. And we went through the same process when we started our company, where we literally started from scratch. We didn't know how to be able to find clients. One tip I would recommend: make sure you get a great, comfortable place to be able to meet. And this sort of veers off a little bit, but pulls back in. So if you're doing a consult, we always would say, hey, here's 3 different coffee shops, because we just worked out of our home before we bought our shop. And when I say bought our shop, we have a storefront. We only do weddings and events, but we have a storefront now. But we started from scratch, out of nothing. And so what we did a couple of style shoots. Wedding shows are a great suggestion to be able to get in front of people, but make sure that you're double purposing everything. Okay, don't just be like, oh, I'm going to make this bouquet for the wedding show. Make sure you're maybe not using it for a style shoot, but maybe make sure you make some photographer friends and be like, hey, I'll give you some flowers if you can take the photographs of them, or something like that, and use that same stuff to be able to make a style shoot to show your work off. I'm make another point on that. Make sure that, like, if you are at a wedding show, do the kind of work of the client you want to get. So if you're starting out, do bouquets. Just get some work under your belt from some people that they aren't going to be an enormous event. You aren't going to be on the cover of any magazines, but you're going to make someone's day incredibly awesome. So have the bouquets, have the things that everybody wants, that everyone needs in it. And obviously, as you move up market, you might want to do different displays based on that. So find opportunities to be able to put it, like you said, style shoots. Make sure that you, I wouldn't say that you're in control of the style shoot, but make sure you know what's going on with the style shoot. There's nothing worse than spending $600 for flowers to really get a good style shoot and it turning out horrible, and having somebody that's not necessarily the type of photographer that you wanted on it. Yeah. So I'd suggest a few of those things, but then everything else that was said.
Yeah, and I just want to say with the style shoot too, just make sure, because if you're starting out, you also will get kind of probably asked often to do things for free and things like that. And so just, rewind this video and watch a little bit about that, since we talk about that, and just make sure that it's worth it and that you're aligning with other vendors that you want to either emulate if your brand isn't fully developed, or where you think your brand wants to be. Do not do things with people who you don't align at all with what you want to portray, because it's not going to work out well. And then I had another thought. I wanted to say, since you're starting out too, I know there's a lot of, people who want to just do the really big, expensive weddings. And I have to say that there's room for everyone and everywhere to be profitable. And just because you're doing big, giant weddings doesn't mean that it is profitable. It also means a lot more headaches. It means more people. It means more everything, more space, more. It's just, so just remember that too, as you're growing, try to figure out where you really want to be, where you're comfortable doing. Some people have different things that they want in their life. So you just really need to just evaluate that a little bit too. And so that's my advice. And Ryan had great advice. So thank you for that.
And tomorrow as well, and this is just a side note, and I can send you the link to this. We've got 12 spots left for a webinar on how to book booking a wedding. The ultimate webinar is what we're calling it. And we're just basically hitting up and saying, hey, here's what we see are effective tips that across the thousands and thousands of florists that I've worked with. Here are the effective tips that we're seeing that people use to be able to book a wedding. So that might be another great place we can finish up a longer conversation, since we got to shut this off.
Yeah, that would be great. Maybe post the link in the comments too, so everyone has the link to sign up for that, because I think that would be a great thing to go to. So awesome.
I'll go do that right now.
Thank you. And that's really all we have time for, guys. We're 10 minutes over. Thank you for sticking with me for an hour and 10 minutes. That's amazing. I love you. Thank you, Ryan, for joining me. And I'll see you soon. And we get to talk a little bit more, I think, tomorrow. So I will take care. Thank you.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you, guys, and everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, Ryan. Thank you, and good luck with that baby.
All right. Yes. Very soon.
All right.
All right.
Bye. Okay, guys. Oh, I love you. Thank you for joining me this morning. It was amazing. I hope you enjoyed the show. If I didn't answer your question, I will roll those questions over to next month's show. If you still have questions, add them to the comments and I will add it to next month's show. Or you can always go to the contact page on our website, mayesh.com, and shoot them over that way. If it's something that you don't want out in the public, that's okay too, because I have a little bit of everyone asking us questions. No big deal. Okay, so make sure that you mark your calendars for February 20th. It's, the week after Valentine's Day, so I think everyone will be tired and can just come and hang out with me while we talk flowers, talk shop. Again, I wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you again for joining. Happy Valentine's Day. And it's time to wrap up. So first, if you're new to the show, follow our channel, follow Facebook, add us to our newsfeed, make sure that we're there, sign up for our email newsletter. Just go to our website and hit subscribe. Next, if you found value on our show, please share it with your flower friends, flower community, flower pages. I would love that. Thank you. And also, I just finally wanted to say thank you for coming and being a part of the show. I really appreciate you guys. You don't even know. Dave, Shelly, and I will all be back next month. So send in your questions and ask us anything. And with that, I just wanted to make sure you had a rocking day, a rocking week, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.